focus shifted. But amid all that, hundreds of people that were injured in those Kiev protests have still been trying to get help. The country is lacking medical facilities and the expertise needed to deal with the wounded. So a group of Canadian doctors is heading there to assess the situation and see what they can do to help. Let's bring in family doctor George Huculak. He's leaving tomorrow to head to Kiev. George, what made you decide to go here?
Well, I've been brought up as, a proud Canadian and also a proud Ukrainian. And I was contacted recently by a close friend who was involved in the organization of a medical committee that was to advise and provide any kind of support they can to help alleviate the suffering going on as a result of the violence in Ukraine. So when I was approached about that initially as an advisor and then as potentially someone who could travel to Ukraine and get boots on the ground and help out in person, I jumped at the opportunity.
What are you hearing in terms of the situation on the ground? I mean, how desperate are they in need of medical help?
Well, as we know, the country is in financial ruin. There have been the deaths that are known about, but there are also many hundreds of people who are needing medical aid. Some have been treated in Ukraine, some have been treated outside the borders, but have been returned to Ukraine. And right now, there exists a dire need for equipment, expertise, medication, technology. The problem for us is that we don't have a strong grasp of what is required. And so it was thought that it would be best to convene a small group of medical professionals to go over and interact with their doctors, with their healthcare professionals, with volunteers who've been treating the sick, and to learn from them what their greatest needs are.
Once you get on the ground, what will be the plan? What will you do? Will you go to a hospital in the capital, trying to liaise with doctors there?
That is the plan. Most of the group is already in Kyiv. I'm leaving tomorrow, as was mentioned. They're in Maidan right now. I spoke with them a couple of hours ago. The plan in Kyiv is to spend some time at the military hospital and some trauma units. I believe on Sunday we're going to be going to eastern Ukraine, to the city of Donetsk. There's a great need there, and we'll be spending a bit of time liaising with their medical and healthcare professionals. And then we come back to Kyiv, and then we go into western Ukraine, into Lviv, to see what their needs are.
I guess it's impossible for you to sort of have an idea of what the timeline might be here, George.
Well, we're going for 11 days in total. Of course, it would be better to go for longer, but I think we can learn quite a bit in that time. The plan then is for us to come back to Ukraine, liaise with Canada-Ukraine Foundation and Ukrainian-Canadian Congress, and with healthcare professionals in Canada, and show them, share our findings with them. And hopefully as soon as possible, we'll be able to organize a larger group of healthcare professionals to go over, and hopefully some medical equipment that we can identify as necessary, and medications and any other support we can give.
There is a large Ukrainian community in Canada, as you know. You are a part of it. Is this sort of the first step in perhaps closer ties from the medical side of things?
Absolutely, I would agree with that. There have been some medical ties as far as humanitarian aid going into Ukraine from Canada and other countries in the past, but I think this regime change offers a chance for Canada and other countries, and from the medical perspective, to provide medical care to Ukraine without fear of corruption, with a true belief that it can make a difference, and that the necessary aid will go where it's intended to go.
Dr. George Huculak heading to Kiev tomorrow to do what he can over there. Thanks so much for your time. We wish you safe travels, of course.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, we're going to